Okay, reactions of alkanes. Ano yung mga reactions? Magdi-discuss tayo ng 4 na chemical reaction ng alkane. Una, combustion reaction. This is the reaction between a substance, for this case, alkane, with oxygen. Okay? So, yung oxygen na yan, makikita yan sa air. At palagi ang product niyan ay carbon dioxide, water, and heat energy. Okay? So, in writing the chemical reaction for combustion of alkane, ang problemahin lang natin is the chemical formula or molecular formula of the alkane or the hydrocarbon. Kasi nga, fixed naman itong plus oxygen or O2. You have the arrow sign to indicate that it would be producing carbon dioxide, water, and heat energy. Okay, so fixed na yan. Ang isang activity for combustion reaction is the balancing. Paano mag-balance? Kailangan yung count ng carbon atom sa reactant side ay dapat equal sa count ng carbon atom sa product side. Ganon din sa hydrogen, dapat equal yung nasa reactant at nasa product. Same is true for oxygen. Okay? Now, let's have this example. Combustion of methane. Pag sinabi sa quiz na, okay, write the reactions or equation for the combustion of methane. So, automatic, laging tatandaan, meron yang oxygen, then followed by an arrow sign, then carbon dioxide, water, and energy. When it comes to balancing, naglalagay lang tayo ng mga coefficient. Ano yung coefficient? Yan yung mga big numbers written before the chemical formula. Okay? Do not get confused. The small number after each element is the subscript. Yung nilalagay nating number before the chemical formula or that big number, ang tawag dyan ay coefficient. Okay? So, for this methane, pag walang nakasulat na number or big number before the chemical formula, ibig sabihin nun ay 1. Okay? So, here, there's none. So, ibig sabihin 1 carbon atom. So, 1 din naman si carbon atom sa carbon dioxide. Hydrogen is 4, but hydrogen in water is just 2. So, we have to think of a number that would be multiplied to the 2 subscript of hydrogen to make it 4 count. So, what should be multiplied to 2? So, that's 2 also to make it 4. Kasi nga, yung 2 na yan ay dinidistribute or minumultiply dun sa subscript. So, that coefficient big number 2 times the subscript small number 2 will be multiplied so as to get 4 para masatisfy yung count nung hydrogen. When it comes to oxygen naman, okay, here on the product side, you have 2 coming from the carbon dioxide, and then with this coefficient of 2 before the water, okay, dapat i-multiply mo din siya dun sa itong 2 na ito, i-multiply mo din siya dun sa oxygen. So that makes it 2 oxygen here coming from water and 2 oxygen coming from the carbon dioxide. So that makes it 4. Ang oxygen pag sinulat ay O2. Okay, so ano ang coefficient ng oxygen to make it 4? So we have 2. Okay? So i-recall lang natin kung paano yung balancing of chemical equations na naaral natin nung high school. Okay? So next example, combustion of hexane. So for this, you have 6 carbon atom. Okay, 6 carbon atom. So that is, with the coefficient of 2, the carbon will become 12. So naglagay tayo ng 12 doon. Pero kung iisa-isahin natin yung steps, so say for example, C6 6H14 plus oxygen, giving us carbon dioxide and water. Okay? So, paano yung steps na pag-balance? So, with this 6 carbon atoms, so tendency natin maglalagay tayo ng 6 doon. And for the hydrogen, that's 14. So, what should be multiplied to 2? So, that should be 7. But with that 7, the oxygen will then become 7 as well. And the oxygen here is 6 times 2 is 12. So, 12 plus 7 is 19. However, meron tayo ditong 2. So, that would be 19 and a half. Pero hindi tayo naglalagay ng coefficient na fraction. Just like that 9 and a half. So, ano gagawin natin? We have to multiply the whole equation by that have to be cancelled. So, i-multiply natin ng 2 lahat. So, if we're going to multiply this, the hexane will have 2. The oxygen now, hindi na siya 19 and a half kasi 19 and a half divided by 2 will become 2. And that 6 will no longer be 6 because we have to multiply it by 2. So, that would be 12. And that 7 is no longer 7 because it should be multiplied to 2. So, that would be 14. So, basically, if you multiplied one coefficient with a factor, dapat the rest of the coefficient within the equation should also be multiplied with that certain factor. So, dyan natin nakuha yung 2 na yan. Ay, ito pala ay, 19 and a half times 2. So, makakancel yung 2. So, magiging 19. Okay? So, yan yung 19. Ito naman yung 12. At yun yung 14. So, ganyan ang pag-balance. Okay? When it comes to halogenation reaction, pag sinabing halogenation, this is a reaction with halogen. So, kung titignan natin sa periodic table, ano ba yung mga halogens? These are elements under group 7A of the periodic table. Specifically, sila ay si fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Kung makikita ninyo, pag sinulat nyo yung fluorine, palaging may 2 siya. Okay, may 2 as a subscript because they are diatomic. Katulad sila ni oxygen. Si oxygen may 2 kasi diatomic din siya. Okay? So, for halogenation reaction, this is actually a substitution reaction. Pag sinabing substitute, merong pagpapalit-palitan ng mga molecule. Okay? So, paano yun?